Hi everybody, I think we're live. It's 10 p.m. in Abu Dhabi in Emirates. I hope you can hear me. Can you let me know if you can hear me? Just type yes, so we can start with the questions and answers. I received a few questions recently that I will focus, and I also wrote them in the description. You can see and read the description. There are a few questions that pop up recently. People were asking me. So we can start with the questions. So a few questions that pop up recently. Number one is how to heal H.Pylori. H.Pylori, and we know H.Pylori creates ulcers, right? So ulcers are created by this bacteria disbalance. So this means H.Pylori, I mean, this is a normal bacteria that everyone has. It's but if it's in a low amount, it's controllable. It cannot cause any issue. Actually, we need all these bacteria, the good and the bad, in the same time. But when there is a disbalance, when we manage to kill the good bacteria and then the bad one, like H.Pylori, gram-negative, they are called bad bacteria, and they multiply, and they may cause problems. They may cause irritation to the gut. Okay, so because they're more resistant. When we eat, like for example processed food, some food which has conservants in that, like stabilizers, the stabilizers means to prolong the food, this what we are eating, on the shelf for a longer period of time, right? And it will not develop any bacteria, any fungus. So it means this is a stabilizer which is killing the bacteria. When we consume this kind of food, which is processed food and full with these artificial additives, they're also killing the bacteria in our gut. So what happens? And because the good bacteria, they are much more easier to be damaged, to be killed, but the bad bacteria are much more stronger and resistant, and they survive. Okay, so when we create this disbalance, more of the bad bacteria will grow, like H.Pylori. Then they can multiply, and they can cause problems. They can actually start damaging the gut wall and cause ulcers. So ulcerative colitis, it's actually damaged gut wall. What does it mean? This means then that there is a wound inside, and like a wound, like we have wound outside on our skin, and this damaged skin from inside, it's called ulcers. And then usually the symptoms from this kind of thing, from having H.Pylori or ulcerative colitis, it's burning pain in the abdomen, strong pain, bloating, nausea, maybe ulcers that bleed, maybe bleeding stool we have, or loss of appetite, maybe frequent burping, or unexplained weight loss. So how many of you have experienced this kind of symptoms? So anybody of you have these ulcers or H.Pylori? Because this is actually normal. Many people have this kind of bacteria overgrowth. If it's in a small amount, as I said, it's not causing any damage, so we can live with it, and it's okay to have it. But when we have when this bacteria has multiplied and caused ulcers, then there is a big problem. Okay, so what kind of food actually we need to avoid when we have H.Pylori or when we have ulcers? We already developed. So what we need to do? So we need to avoid like alcohol, coffee. Coffee is also very damaging to the gut wall. It's irritating. Then milk, fatty meals, and fried foods, of course, processed foods, spicy food, salty food, and cruciferous fruits like citrus fruits also, and tomatoes and chocolate. So we need to avoid this kind of food. And what we need to consume in order to heal this H. pylori and to heal these wounds inside our gut. So first and most important is avoid the processed food, which is, as I explained, is causing all this gut disbalance of the bacteria and create ulcers. And we need to implement probiotics, which is good bacteria like fermented food, and honey is good, especially manuka honey. It's from a plant manuka. It's very beneficial, especially for H. pylori. It's killing this bacteria. Then green tea, olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. Be careful, we don't want these processed oils which they're using bleach, they're using nickel, so it's actually heavy metal. We are causing heavy metal toxicity if we consume processed oils. So just make sure it's extra virgin, which is cold pressed. No other additives, no other process is made from them to them. Then licorice root, broccoli sprouts, and also phototherapy is good for this kind of problem, which is ultraviolet light, which is from the sun. So sun is good for any disease, now we know, and it's good to go outside on the sun as much as possible. Okay, so the second question that popped up was about what do you think of fasting? Yeah, fasting is a good question, very good question, and I really like fasting, but I did it once, 3 days fasting, and I felt terrific. The 4th day is actually the best day. Okay, but I do not recommend fasting if you have never done it before, like 3 days fasting. And plus, if the body is overloaded with toxins and you start like hardcore fasting, from now I'll fast, you say, let's say 3-5 days, that will be not possible for the body, because all of a sudden the process of detoxification will start, and it will be a lot of detoxification symptoms, and it will be very difficult to cope with these symptoms. Maybe nausea, vomiting, headaches, any kind of maybe stronger symptoms. So the fasting I recommend, like to start a little by little. Like for example, you can start fasting with let's say intermittent fasting, and as I said, so fasting can be done like I said, slowly. First try, let's say 12-hour fasting from the evening until the next morning. You try to fast 12 hours, then you can increase like 13 hours, 14, 15 and 16. Then after that you can increase, let's say make it 1 day fasting. What I mean by fasting? By fasting I mean it's better to do it like you can. There are many ways to do fasting. You can do it like water fasting. You can do it let's say juice fasting. Vegetable juice better than the fruit juice, which is full of sugar. Juice fasting is also good, and water fasting. There is also dry fasting with nothing at all, which the Muslims they do it very often every year for Ramadan, which is very difficult. I cannot do it. So water fasting, we are doing in our program bone broth fasting, which is very beneficial for the gut lining. For the longer fast, yes, I recommend once per week, it's better. But for the longer fast, like 3 to 5 days, the thing is After 12 hours, the autophagy starts to happen. What is autophagy? Autophagy means auto means self, phagy means eat. That means that our body is trying to, it's starting a new process which is trying to kill these cells. I mean, not kill, but recycle the dead cells, and like a general cleaning start to do, because we're not eating, we're not bothering our body with anything which is extra work. So it's trying to clean the old damaged cells, and it's recycling them and again using them for making a new cells. And this is happening up to 3 days. So after the 3rd day, if we continue with the 4th day, this means what happened the 4th day? The 4th day begins to produce stem cells, which is very important. So stem cells are the basic cells which are used to build any kind of cell in our body. These are the cells from which the embryo starts to grow. Okay. So anybody try the fasting? I know that Muslims they're doing this very often, and they can feel the benefits from the fasting. And I do intermittent fasting very often, and I already get used to it, so I don't have a problem even if I fast 1 day, 2 days. Once I did a 3-day fast, and it was very, very beneficial. But as I said, first you need to try detox the body, and then start slowly with the fasting. We don't want to experience any bad symptoms. Okay. The 3rd question was about the energy and mitochondria. Okay, so how do we get more energy? How do we get more energy to our cells? We feel most of the time tired when we wake up. We don't have an energy, and we want our body to have energy to make more use of the day. So you plan to do so many things, but you don't have an energy, you don't have power to do anything, right? So what can we do about this? We can the most important thing about the energy and why we feel tired all the time is that we have who produces energy? The mitochondria in the cell, right? So the mitochondria in the cell, when there is an inflammation going on in our body, that means that our body is fighting something inside. We have maybe we ate some processed food or something, and we input some toxins. So what happens? Our body is trying to fight this toxin, and then our mitochondria, instead of producing the energy, they change their function into defending and fighting the disease, fighting the toxin maybe. So so why we don't have energy? It's actually because we have inflammation going on in our body. So we need to stop the inflammation, and then bring the nourished food, like fresh fruits, vegetables. They bring life to our cells. Yes, that's the good option. That's how we will improve the energy in all our cells. Will start functioning properly, and the mitochondria will produce ATP, the energy cells. Okay, so how many of you have felt tired? Have you felt tired? I used to feel so much tired. The next question was about anal fissure. So this is very often asked, which is inflammation. It's usually coming from anal abscess. What is anal abscess? So that one is when we have glands near the anal. So usually it comes from, it's not like all of a sudden, it's coming from many years before. So while the person has had constipation a longer period of time, and the toxins are actually sitting down there longer period of time, and there are glands there. same like the glands here, like the lymph glands, which are fighting. You know, when we have a virus or toxin and they're swollen, right? So that means there is a fight going on, and it's trying to heal, trying to fight off these toxins. So that the same thing happens down there. So when they're swollen, the glands, they sometimes they release some fluid, and that after we have the stool coming out, and there is another fluid coming out. And what is the fistula? Fistula is like a blood vessel which is going around this abscess. The abscess is the gland swollen, which is causing inflammation and a wound there. Okay. So what we can do, usually this is happening with the Crohn's disease or with radiation or treatment for a cancer. So if the constipation has been prolonged for a longer time, then this can happen. I know because my mother had it, and she always had the constipation for many days. She couldn't go to toilet, and this usually associated also with IBD. And it's better to when she changed her diet, now she's going regularly every day to toilet. So normal is to go every day, even sometimes multiple times per day. So if you're going once per day, then it's okay, it's good. Okay. So what we can do to heal this kind of problem? We can change our diet, of course. Stop eating the processed food, the toxins. They start using more organic food. Then we can eat more food which is with fiber, because fiber pulls down and compacts the stool and easily pulls it down. But if we don't drink enough liquid, it will make a bulk and it will swell, it will get more dry. So we need to intake more liquid, like water. Usually normal should be between 1.5 liter until 2 liters per day. In the summer it's more, of course. In the winter it can be less. And it's good. Another good food to eat is chicken, fruits, vegetables, brown rice, pear, banana, avocado. They are also rich in fiber. Pineapple is rich in fiber. Carrots, seeds and nuts also, and papaya. And it's better to eat small meals more often, so we don't make constipation in our gut. Okay. Then is when we have inflammation going on down there, so with the abscess or fistula, we can use like baths with a small amount of salt, or we can add some essential oils which will calm this inflammation, like lavender, chamomile, thyme. This is good also. And avoid alcohol or caffeine. This is inflammatory, as I mentioned in the beginning. It's good to add fat, but good fat in the diet, like fat from olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, avocado, ghee. It's also good. And to avoid eating late at night. Okay, so these are the most important things that you can start incorporating in your everyday lifestyle, and to try and fix the health issues which are all connected. So now maybe we have those people who have symptoms. They are very lucky. This means that they can see that something is going on in their body. If you don't have a symptom, that's not good, and there is something going on, that's not good. So people who have pain in their belly, they have migraines, they have, you know, usually people, small issues like migraine, they just ignore, which is not good. Just take a pill and it's nothing. But if it's coming regularly, that means your body is trying to tell you something, that something is going wrong with your body. So we need to pay attention and listen to our body. Okay, so as I said, try to eat healthy, organic food, less processed food, avoid the inflammatory food like gluten, dairy, sugar, soy, and eat much more fresh food, fruit and vegetables, and also drink plenty of water, move, exercise, and try to do some stress relief techniques. Yes, and don't forget to get my masterclass, stress-free masterclass, where I go very deep into what is actually going on in our body when during the time when we are under stress. There are two types of stress, which is momentarily and the chronic, and what is happening in our body and how can we control it, and how can we reduce the stress instantly, and also how can we reduce it completely. There is very good tips and strategies that I explain and use, so they are very golden nuggets. Is there any questions that I can answer? If you don't have now question, you can write it below and I will try to answer it next time that I go live. Okay, so bye for now, and I hope I have answered some questions that you find it useful. Okay, if there are no questions, so see you next time. Bye.